And I am delighted to welcome a wonderful practitioner based in Sydney to having a chat with me today, Daniela. Hello, Daniela Strazas. How are you?
Hi, Cherry. I'm good. Thank you. And just starting, just want to thank you for the opportunity to talk about metabolic balance, which is something that we love doing and we are so passionate
I
about.
know.
Yeah. So thank you
I
very much.
think this is actually a really key thing that when as practitioners we start realizing the results we can get, suddenly it's like, oh my goodness, you don't want to use anything else, really, do you?
Yeah. Yeah. It's just so individualized and so, you know, I've been doing a lot of plans lately and I have never find any plan that was similar to each other. You always find how different they are and how specific they are
Yeah.
as well. So
Yeah, yeah, I know, it's awesome. So you've been doing MB since 2021
yeah,
when you did your training. So you've seen a lot of plans now and you've helped a lot of people.
yeah, and help myself as well with some gut issues. I've tried every single thing before, all kind of protocols that we know that they
Yeah.
are out there, and metabolic balance definitely was life changing to me with my IBS symptoms, and yeah, was so effective. No bloating anymore,
I think
no flatulence,
yeah.
anything related to that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's so telling, isn't it? Because as practitioners, often we feel that we're supposed to have all the answers, but even as practitioners, it's really hard to know exactly what foods are right for you, and unless you do have some like really great analysis to find out.
yeah, absolutely.
So you are a nutritionist.
So yeah, I've done here. So I did bachelor degree on health science, major in nutritional medicine, and
Yep.
yeah, so I am a clinical
Awesome.
nutritionist.
And so you've also done, though, quite a bit of extra study too in sort of the food psychology and supporting disordered eating, haven't you?
So it's basically neurobiology. So it's a lot of neuroscience of eating behavior and all
Yeah,
tools that we can use to change habits. And so it's pretty much what they call psychology of eating behavior.
yeah. Because it's one of the, I mean, this is such I think this is such an important part of being a great MB practitioner as well, is that, and why Metabolic Balance is a practitioner only program, because it's not just about always just following the plan. It's also being guided for somebody to be really guided by a professional in what they need to be doing.
Something that I usually like to say is what we have to do is try to find and bring our knowledge and our acts in the same time at the same time, and sometimes we know a
Yeah,
lot of things, we know what to do, but there is something that has to be really dig down and understand what is causing and what are the all underlying issues that end up by having this kind of not being aligned your action with your knowledge. So bringing that is super important.
yeah, yeah. And that's kind of a key thing that I think, when a practitioner can act as that link for somebody between the MB plan and that actual person sat in a room really wanting to know what they need to be doing. Yeah, that's really exciting that you've done all that extra study too.
And what is also, I think, that is important to mention is we don't want anyone to use metabolic balance to be like a quick fix. We really want them to bring that to their life and use it as a lifestyle. But you have to kind of guide the client to have this adherence to the plan, and then understand, of course you're not going to do 100% of the plan, but of course in the beginning you have to do 100%, but after that we use as a roadmap, and then and then you can use metabolic balance as your lifestyle, your eating. And something that I
Mm-hmm.
love about MB is how easy it is to prepare the meals, how quick it
Mm-hmm.
is to prepare the meals. I take about like 10
Mm-hmm.
minutes every meal. So there is no like excuses to say, oh,
Yeah.
it takes too long to prepare all those meals. So it's easy, convenient, and delicious as well, which all the
Mm.
ingredients that we need to actually bring this as a lifestyle, right?
And I think that's that's one of the key things I often like to say, that we aren't a diet. I mean, how do you feel about that? When somebody says, I need a diet, what do you say to that?
I always try to explain everything about metabolic balance and where I want to bring them, and why it's important to understand which is the best food, like your best buddies, the, in terms of foods, which foods will be working well to them. And I
Yeah.
try to understand, explain to them why using that as a lifestyle, like eating most of the time as a, and differentiating what is routine and what
Mm-hmm.
is the exception, will bring the exact balance. I just feel some people think that balance is something that nowadays it was set in a wrong way, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we have to find a few extremes to actually find the real balance. Don't you
Mm-hmm.
think that,
Mm. Yeah.
Sherry?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's you don't even really know what is the right thing for you until you get going and you start and you test it out, and then you can actually identify even how you're feeling on doing anything and then find the real balance for you. Because what might be right for me is not going to be right for you because we're different.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
something that I love about MB, and I always say to some clients that just try to ask me, do you think that metabolic balance is the right thing to me? And this is a big, um, you know, value on metabolic balance that I find. You're not gonna find metabolic balance on Chat GPT, and like a normal diet. You can just write down now. Chat GPT can do a diet, but will never take on who you are and what do you really need,
Yeah.
and is not
Yeah.
also take into account all your habits and all your behaviors in terms
Mm-hmm.
of eating. That's why I love working with metabolic balance, as we know exactly what the person needs. We're not taking into account calories. Like it's not about
Mm-hmm.
taking, a
Mm-hmm.
low version, a low fat version of whatever yogurt or whatever that we don't know if it's really
Mm-hmm.
gonna work for us. So is the
Mm-hmm.
right food for you, and at the same
Mm-hmm.
time we can definitely work on together and put this, as I said, as a lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's that lifestyle that sometimes is it that people do get a little bit scared of thinking they have to do a whole big change straight up as well? But it's the baby steps that you can take somebody through too. I mean, do you use that approach for your clients too? That we see that we're slowly learning to find the new lifestyle for them.
Like when you are setting goals with the clients, they have, I always bring that to them, is not the result in the scale that you want, is the small little progress each meal doing what you have to do, you know that's
Mm,
that's the goal. That's is the biggest goal. Do what you have to do. Drink your water, have your metabolic balance meal, prepare, being organized. This is pretty much the goal. And this is the
mm,
step by step that is going to take you to the goal, the
yeah.
big goal that you want.
Yeah. So it's staying in the moment, isn't it? I mean, that's probably really what we're saying. You stay in the moment, what you're doing today, how are you feeling today? How do you want to maybe feel tomorrow? So that's what you do today to make sure that you feel good tomorrow, and you keep on staying in that moment.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
You just said
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you have a particular type of client that you work a lot with, like a niche, or what would you say?
um so I do work a lot with weight loss,
Yeah.
but this is definitely something that I don't like to really link, because metabolic balance is much bigger. It's definitely bringing your healthier you from the inside to
Mm-hmm.
outside. So the weight loss
Mm.
is just, result of giving the right foods, bringing this anti-inflammatory effect. And I do work a lot with clients that has gut issues, gut
Mm-hmm.
symptoms, and nowadays we have so many women with some metabolic disorders and hormonal disorders as well. So I do work with menopausal women and also endometriosis, with
Oh yeah.
with
Yeah.
endometriosis. So
Mm-hmm.
I work, so I always read the bloods. Besides metabolic balance, but work, I always ask more things that I want to assess. For example, women with endometriosis that tend to have a low glutathione. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like to assess those things and bring all these aspects to the treatment as well to improve
Mm-hmm.
symptoms.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because then metabolic balance is just really that cornerstone, isn't it? We get the diet right, we get their food right, we get them eating well, get them balanced, and then you as a practitioner can really hone in on any of the extra stuff that needs to happen.
Yeah, and if you don't change your eating style, you can give a lot of supplements that ain't gonna work. Comes with
Yeah.
food first, right? And then once your
Yeah.
eating is adjusted, then you can use supplements and will improve. But supplements by itself never gonna improve by itself.
Yeah. Supplements have an incredible power when they've got the opportunity to work, don't they?
And that's why
if
they
they
were
if they,
called supplements, right?
yeah,
They're
yeah, they
extra.
supplement the diet. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, totally. So, do you have have you got any like wonderful client stories or just interesting client stories that you could share with us? Is there a couple of clients that jump out at you when you think about
I do
who you've helped?
come so many clients into my mind. I will be unfair if I have someone that I'm not gonna mention. But what I really love doing, not just with like the way that I work with metabolic balance, is changing the identity of the client. You see that the client become a healthier person, and because they are
Yeah,
changing their identity, they end up by changing their behavior. And this is
I think
something
that's
that,
really interesting.
yeah, I
Yeah,
do have many clients that have their they went to this weight loss journey and they kept the weight off, which is all that we want. And the reason
yeah,
why I see that this is, sustainable and they can do it is because they change the way that they relate with food and also the way that they perceive themselves. This
yeah.
mindset shift, has to happen to do like a good weight management forever, let's say.
Mm. So that's really what you're saying about the identity, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
It's who they think feel they are, and their relationship with food, eating, celebrating, nourishing their bodies, their choices every day. It's that kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, and even if you go for a more, so many people are not religious, but if you think about even religion, like God gave us real food, and you know why people just go for the things that are unnatural. And it's so easy.
Come out of a factory.
And even though like we are made of nutrients, our body is made of nutrients, so why are we gonna give foods that lack a lot of nutrients, you know?
Mm, mm. I think, well, is that part of what working with a client allows you to do, though, with a client with metabolic balance? Because when you are able to work with them over a period of time where they truly start to link and understand the link between what they're eating and how they're feeling, then you can really have that shift in behavior for the long term and help them see why they keep going.
Yeah, absolutely. Something that I always do on my initial consultation is bringing what the benefits that my clients have on not eating healthily. Like, because any
Mm-hmm.
kind of behavior you have, you always have a benefit on keep doing that, even if you
Mm-hmm.
don't, even if the benefit is not straightforward. And what I always say is, after 3 weeks we're going to come back to exactly this question, but understanding which benefits you have on eating healthily. And and then
Mm-hmm.
they can really compare, because if they are not eating 100% healthily, let's say, they ain't gonna understand what exactly means being alive, being with good energy, with stamina to go through the day
Mm-hmm.
and not feeling bloated, and all the good stuff that we have by eating the right foods.
Yes, it's actually understanding their own potential. Is I think what you're saying there.
Yeah.
It's like they get to understand the potential they have of where they could be.
And they just gonna be able
So
to say the benefits they have once they start
yeah,
doing actually that and experiencing that
yeah,
and learning how to do
yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. So you are also, so you're Brazilian by nationality, but obviously you've been here in Australia for quite some time. So do you help all different members of your community as well? Do you work in both languages?
Yeah. I do also. Something that happened is, even if I'm doing like a Portuguese session, I end up by putting a lot of English words, because I've
Yeah,
learned nutrition in English. So most of the
yeah,
things that I know is all in English. But I do work with a
yeah,
lot of Brazilians as well as other nationalities.
yeah. That's really great to know. So you speak Portuguese, English,
And
any other
Spanish.
languages, and Spanish.
Yeah,
Excellent.
I'm
So there
fluent.
we go. So any Portuguese, Spanish, and English speakers out there, you can get in touch with Daniela.
Thank you, Joe.
Wonderful.
Mm.
Okay, is there anything that you would? How would you sum up your experience as a practitioner bringing metabolic balance to your clients?
Yeah. So when we go to the uni, we learn a lot about nutrition, and it's quite impossible to address every single thing if you don't have a metabolic balance. Metabolic balance just brings everything that we have in nutrition. So it's definitely the best plan that we can give to any client. And something that I always question myself when I was a student is how I can give the same diet for different people, like how can work. So it feels like we are not doing the right job. So understanding exactly what the client need, exactly the
Mm-hmm.
foods that is going to work to them, is the best way to work with any client and address their nutritional needs, and also
Mm-hmm.
bring this balance to hormones,
Mm-hmm.
metabolism, and
Mm-hmm.
also
Mm-hmm.
improve the gastrointestinal function, which is so important right now. And we work
Mm-hmm.
with prevention, right? I feel that nowadays people are so focused on diseases, and we are so focused on health
Mm.
and bringing their health back on. And something that is nice to see once we do like a BIA analysis is showing the metabolic age. And it's nice when this is come down and people feel like I'm getting my life back. And yeah,
So that's the bioimpedance analysis that
yeah,
you're talking
yeah,
about there, the body composition analysis.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So
right.
just for those out there, it's the difference of fat, muscle, hydration, inflammatory markers. That's what we can see with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So clients see the changes with that, don't they?
Absolutely. Yeah. We see,
Yeah. Yeah.
and something that I like about metabolic balance is they definitely burn fat.
Yes, I know, which is what we want to get rid of.
Yeah.
Well, we get the right levels of fat
They
back,
just
basically.
shred the fat. Yeah.
Yeah, and protect the muscle.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is exactly what you want for any kind of anti-aging.
Yeah.
Got to
Absolutely.
protect the muscle. Yeah, yeah. Awesome. So yeah, it's been. I mean, it's been fantastic to have you on board as a metabolic balance practitioner here in Australia. I love seeing, hearing all of the testimonials and the success stories, and just all of the fabulous questions that you bring my way as well. So, and it's yeah, I just wanted to really, thank you for that. You're a very valuable member of the MB community. And is there anything else that you would like to share at this point, that just to whether it's to a potential client who is really thinking, do I get in touch with Daniela or not,
Um,
or even an
I just
yeah.
want
So
to
let's start there.
mention, Cherry, that you is definitely so important for us as a practitioner. Um, your support is definitely so valuable. And yeah, and
Thank you.
thank you very much for that. So I'm happy that I shared those results with you, and please feel part of it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I never get tired of hearing beautiful results that people get. It's just that's part of the joy of working with MB, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, what would you say to a client who's just on that fence, kind of like, oh, is this what I should do or not?
Well, I believe that everyone will benefit with metabolic balance. First of all, is a huge self knowledge to understand which
Mm,
foods will gonna work well for you, and
yeah,
and definitely we are just talking about like a super healthy and cleaning eating, which is all that we
hmm,
want,
yeah,
and is definitely the best way to address and to prevent some diseases that we know that is related with um, food sorry, with lifestyle. And
yeah,
metabolic balance is the real deal for relearning your portion sizes, relearning how to eat, not accordingly to what is out there, but accordingly with your body function. So it's
yeah,
definitely
yeah,
an amazing program.
hmm,
Absolutely.
yeah. I often say that it's almost it's it's a way that you can really just move yourself to a different place in a very straightforward sort of way. And that knowledge will never leave you once you've got it.
Yeah.
So the value is enormous.
Yeah, and like when you, even if you think about weight loss, some people can get sick, for example, and lose weight, but this is not getting
Mm,
healthier. But we know that people in metabolic balance are getting healthier because they sleep better, their
hmm,
energy levels just go up,
hmm,
and
yeah,
they start to not feel bloated. Bowel movements
yeah,
just come regularly.
yeah,
So it's all about
yeah,
becoming healthier.
yeah. And they come off their medications.
Yeah,
They can
I say we
start
can
to
promise that,
body.
right?
Yeah. Wow. I often don't promise anything, but I'm always very confidently optimistic that that's the direction we can potentially go in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that
Yeah.
working with a good doctor definitely
Oh,
is the
100%.
best way to have like a the best interest
Yeah.
to the client, you know?
Because that shows that's the holistic nature of medicine, and that's where medicine needs to be.
Yeah.
That we're all supporting that one person to really do the best they can. You know, the right medical advice, the right nutritional advice, the right movement advice, all of this lifestyle coming together,
Yeah.
and then yeah,
Oh, you
the
mentioned about
changes can be.
medication, and I do have a client that she is on her second week now, and she has been to blood pressure medication for a long, long time. She usually takes
Mm-hmm.
two blood pressure medications, and I saw her last week, and I asked her to do like the tracking of her blood pressure, and her
Yeah,
blood pressure was low last time. And I said, once I was saying to her, we have to like be really like tracking your blood pressure, because this is might go down, and I don't, we have to have all the care
yeah.
related.
You need to have the proper reviews in place by the doctor. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. We have to work closely with your doctor. And she just sent me a message yesterday saying that she's already lowering her blood pressure medication, the dosage. So we
yeah.
know that
Well, that's what health does. The right blood pressure actually comes from just being healthy.
that's it. That's
It's one of the key
that's it.
things. Not for everyone, but for the vast majority
Yeah,
of people.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So, well, that's a lovely place to finish there, Daniela. Thank you so
Thank
much for
you,
sharing,
Sharon.
and just keep on helping all of your beautiful clients.
Thank you.
And I love hearing more results from you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Eric. Count on me.
Thank you.